Welcome to another episode of Right Click Print Money. This is the PGA Tour Tips and Picks Show, making paper for the masses. I am your host, Sports Guy Ty, joined as always by Tmac and ShallowCal. First, gentlemen, winner, fried perch dinner. Joel Dahmen at the Corrales, baby. That one felt good.
Yeah,
I
sure
bet it
did.
did.
Almost as fun as watching him get overtaken for my first round leader ticket. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, we're going to touch on that a little bit more when we hit on the weekend sweats. But hey, just like we talked about last week, all we need is one to get us back going in the right direction, right? So we got one. Time for
Exactly.
everybody to catch fire going into Masters Week. That was our
Yes.
fifth outright winner on the podcast in 2021 since we've been doing this. In addition to Joel Dahmen at Corrales last week, we have hit Siwoo 54-1 at the Amex. Brooks Koepka 50-1 at the Phoenix Open, Daniel Berger 18-1 at Pebble Beach, Max Homa 70-1 at the Genesis, and a first round leader ticket on Justin Thomas at the Sony Open. But before we go any deeper into tips and picks, as always, gentlemen, podcast sauce, T-Mac, what is fueling the creative juices tonight?
I couldn't bring myself to make a cocktail tonight, so I'm having a strawberry banana smoothie.
Hey, nutrients. We're here for it.
Yeah. I've got nutrients in the form of barley and wheat. It is a
Whoa.
easy drinking golden ale from Bell's, Michigan. We're keeping it all Michigan today. Let's go blue. Hopefully we can get that Final Four ticket punch tonight.
How is that beer? Is that pretty tasty?
Dude, it is. It is a great, easy drinking golden lager, just like it says. It's honestly a nice Budweiser.
All right, T-Mac keeps it healthy. ShallowCal keeps it local for the Wolverines tonight. I'm going international with it. I've got the Sapporo premium beer from Japan this evening. But most importantly, this week's koozie, Lala, 10 years in Chicago, baby. Lollapalooza, I think 2014 when I was there for the 10-year anniversary. So we're throwing it up to music festivals this week. Okay, show agenda. We're going to recap both the Corrales Punta Cana Resort and Club Championship as well as the WGC Dell Match Play Championship. We're going to give you our right-click print money winners as well as our weekend sweats. We will get into previewing the Valero Texas Open, and we are 1 week away from Masters Week, boys. We excited?
Oh, very excited.
Yes.
Always love Masters. It's one of my favorite majors. But U.S. Open's still my favorite, but Masters is right there.
Can't wait to see my boy Jordan Spieth put on that green jacket this year.
Yeah, we may get into a little bit of Masters discussion.
It's going to be fantastic.
All right, as always, let's pay the bills quickly. Tell everyone where they can find the show each week as well as all of our picks. In addition to being on YouTube right now, we're listed on Apple Podcasts and iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. Search right-click, print money, and once you find us, do us a huge favor, subscribe and download the episodes. Also, leave us a review if you can. We're trying hard to climb the charts here in the U.S. Help us get the word out there and get the show noticed. We also have a Twitter page at RightClickPicks, so make sure to give us a follow there. We have a pinned link to a Google spreadsheet on the Twitter account, tracks all of our outright, place, matchup, and prop bets and picks for the current tournament as well as the year, including total win-loss numbers in units. We'll also make any live ads via the Twitter account, so make sure to give at RightClickPicks a follow. All right, gentlemen, before we get into recapping Corrales, as we have been doing the past couple weeks here, I have one rapid-fire question for each of you to react to in the world of golf. ShallowCal, we're going to start with you this week.
Excellent.
Being that it is Texas Open week, and 2 years ago, the last time the tournament was contested, we had a Monday qualifier win it in Corey Connors, became the first Monday qualifier to win a tournament in the past 10 years. So your question, sir, this week, We've seen unconventional routes to pro golf before. A decade ago, Patrick Reed turned pro, dedicated himself to Monday qualifiers, and actually won 6 of them, jump-starting his 6 of them in 2012 alone, jump-starting his path to the PGA Tour. We've seen Kevin Na leave high school early, went to play on the Asian Tour. Brooks Koepka spurned the mini tours in the States, went to play on the Challenge Tour in Europe out of college to make his way back to the PGA. If you, ShallowCal, were going to take an unconventional route trying to get your tour card, what would it be?
The best golf I've ever played was when I was in the best shape of my life and limber. So I need to take up yoga and get my stretching game on. And I would honestly love to do the Asian tour. I think some of those cultures are just so fascinating, and being able to travel around there would be incredible. Plus, as a chef, the cuisine that you would get to experience.
I was wondering if you're going to bring that up.
The from Japan to China to Vietnam to Thailand to the Philippines. That would I'd probably lose my fitness, within the first 3 or 4 months eating so much. I'd eat my way out of the tour.
I don't want to speak for Tmac, but I'm going to go ahead and say that both of us can probably get behind that route as 2 guys who have spent a lot of time in Asia, one of my favorite regions of the world.
Oh, definitely. My God, yeah. I could go an entire podcast about traveling all throughout that region of the world. I love it there. Greatest people in the world, great food, great hospitality.
We had a great backpacking trip on the Banana Pancake Trail back in 2015. We may have to work a few of those stories into a future episode of the podcast.
Got some good ones.
All right, T-Mac, on to you. Tony Romo has played in several PGA Tour events and accepted a sponsor's exemption this week to play in the 2021 Veritex Bank Championship on the Korn Ferry Tour. This is not the first time we've seen professional athletes from other sports attempting to mix it up in the world of professional golf. John Smoltz, another obvious example, former Atlanta Braves pitcher, has played some Champions Tour events. Not terribly uncommon. Which sport other than golf could a professional golfer be competitive in at that level?
Poker.
Poker? How come?
Well, I don't know. I was just trying to think of just a random golfer. I don't think football, hockey, baseball. There's too much technicality involved in those sports. Basketball, I mean, you've got to be size requirements are huge there. Golf is kind of that one professional sport. So maybe let's go with bowling. I mean, okay. any average Joe could be a good bowler. So I'll go with bowling.
I think the hand-eye coordination with the golf swing could lead to some of the bigger guys, maybe like a Brooks Koepka. Maybe he gets in there and in professional baseball as a DH. and he can just be in there and rake. It's a little bit of a similar motion, throwing through the hips and. But
I guess I was thinking more of your average golfer, which is just kind of your average Joe, or if you want to go the other route, like a John Daly type. I think bowling is perfect for John Daly.
Speaking of that, I do miss the Joes vs. Pros TV show. That was a fantastic TV show back in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
that they need to recast, I think, coming through again.
That was some quality entertainment. I like both those selections. Brooks Koepka as a DH, John Daly as a professional bowler. I'm going to go with tennis. I just think it just feels like, a lot of hand-eye coordination again, kind of similar athletic type maneuvers required. I kind of think of both the Belgians, Thomas Dietrich, Thomas Peters. If you told me either one of them played tennis at a very high level, for some reason that just wouldn't surprise me.
Billy Horschel looks like he's played some tennis in his day too.
Billy Horschel, William Ho definitely has some tennis arms.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough of the rapid fire. Let's take a step back quickly, recap both the WGC Dell Match Play Championship as well as the Corrales Punta Cana Club Resort Championship. First to the WGC. We've already mentioned him, but Billy Horschel with the victory, his first World Golf Championship. pretty impressive stuff there from William Ho to come out of that pod and really just outlast the field.
Yeah, I was unfortunate that I had a really busy weekend, so I didn't get to watch anything live, but I got to see a little bit of the highlights. They have some pretty good matchup highlights on YouTube. And yeah, he was playing
I
unbelievable golf.
I think the moment that I knew he was going to win that final round matchup was when he had that side hill lie. I don't remember exactly what hole it was on. It was one of the early holes. Side hill lie, almost in the bunker. The ball's probably 8 inches below his feet, and he just pipes one onto the green within about 25 feet, and you're like, this dude is just on fire. He's not going to lose. Scheffler was on fire earlier, and he kind of stumbled. But he played an incredible week of golf for sure.
So that leads me to my next point. Billy Horschel did outlast Scotty Scheffler in, unfortunately, what was a little bit of a pillow fight in the final on Sunday. It wasn't the most high quality golf of the entire week. It was still entertaining, but that's a lot of golf to play over 5 days, including 36 holes each on Saturday and Sunday. You had a little bit of that wind start up late Saturday, and it was just whipping on Sunday. Tough conditions to play in. Do you like match play, ShallowCal? Is it a good format in general for the PGA Tour, or do we need less match play?
I like it a lot. The one thing that I do not like about it is that there are not a lot of golfers in contentions in the late days. Nobody's making runs up leaderboard. Nobody's coming from behind. A lot of the golfers have been eliminated on Saturday and Sunday. So somebody like where, earlier this year at the Phoenix Open, Brooks Koepka charging up that leaderboard on a Sunday, you don't really get to see that in match play. However, the drama, it's almost like it's flipped in reverse. The drama really was in the beginning of the week when you have all these great match plays, matchups. And then, really disappointed with who made it through the pods. But like, we texted about, Ty, there were some great finishes and playoffs and tiebreakers to get those pod winners. So, you have your goods, your pros and your cons. So I like the match plays. You get the Ryder Cup. So I think we should just keep it right at where it is. One big event a year is good for me.
Like match play a lot, but I wanted to see the bigger names competing on the weekend. I don't like the move to group play and the pods. I mean, just give me some single elimination. Match the number one player in the world, Dustin Johnson, up with Dylan Fratelli, the 64 seed in the first round. Let him go at it, winner take all, and just keep advancing. I think it would help too with a lot of wear and tear on the guys' bodies throughout the week. I know that they're trying to guarantee rounds for everybody making the trip to Austin, but I think you get a lot better quality golf if you go back to the original single knockout format. Tmac, your take on match play?
Yeah, so again, this is really the first year I started getting into golf enough to watch beyond just our fantasy lineups. So I'll actually go the other route. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was kind of fun seeing a couple of the highlights of the matchups, but I would much rather just have a tournament with, the elite playing at it, going at it for 4 days. It just seems to be more my style.
Fair enough. We're back on schedule this week with the Valero Texas Open. Couple more final thoughts on match play. Old man Kuchar getting it done, much to the chagrin of all of us who had him not advancing out of the pod. Dude can't really do it in Ryder Cups, but man, he is good at WGC match play events.
Yeah, I was shocked, honestly. I thought that pod was way too tough for him, and he played well. I also thought he was toast on 16 when he was behind the scoreboard there, and Spieth was in the middle of the fairway, and somehow, some way, he pushes the hole and eliminates Spieth in the playoff, or on 18, I believe it was. So.
Cooch, I hope he tipped his caddy.
There's a great interview with John Wood on the No Laying Up podcast from a couple weeks back, and he actually goes into that story. He's Kuchar's former caddy, and he actually wasn't caddying for that tournament. They had a prearranged agreement where John Wood could actually attend like a Little League baseball reunion or something in California because Kuchar wasn't supposed to play the tournament in Mexico originally. And John Wood's actually got some pretty interesting takes on how that whole thing went down and kind of where Kuchar is with it now. Great listen, but yes, agreed. Hope Kuchar is tipping the caddies the WGC.
I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah, it's worth it, no doubt. Okay, on to the Corrales Punta Cana Club Resort Championship. Joel Dahmen and caddy Gino Bonelli get their first win on tour. Dahmen holds off Sam Ryder and Rafa Campos. Campos actually missed a birdie putt on 18 that would have sent it into extra holes. Tough conditions in the Dominican Republic, particularly on Sunday. Charlie Hoffman went 5 over his last 2 holes through the devil's elbow. Do either you watch much golf in the Dominican this weekend?
I couldn't watch any golf.
Yeah, I watched a lot of it. I was watching a few of the guys that I had some bets on, and I was really impressed with how Dahmen played the weekend there. Very, very, very well done. That wind, no thanks, man. I don't want any part of that. It was brutal, and I think it might be sort of similar this week in Austin. So maybe these guys who are playing there have a little bit of a leg up on the rest of the field who wasn't playing through as nearly tough of conditions.
Speaking of the wind, Gino Bonelli is an early front runner for Employee of the Year. That dude literally had a beer in his hand and jumped off a cliff to save Joel Dahmen's hat. As it was
that was awesome.
After the tournament.
Joel Dahmen just turned around to look at it like, oh well, I guess it's gone, and then he just
out of nowhere just comes into the frame flying over the cliff. That was awesome and truly illustrated how windy it was.
Oh yeah.
But really, really great story with Joel Dahmen getting his first win on tour, kind of quickly becoming the people's champion. He's just a great personality. He loves interacting with the gallery. Other players on tour love him. Max Homa's a good buddy. Was tweeting a lot of support on Sunday. Joel Dahmen is also a cancer survivor. Lost his mother, unfortunately, to pancreatic cancer. His brother had testicular cancer, came back and beat it. Joel Dahmen also testicular cancer, came back and beat it. Additionally, he's a guy who kind of struggled, early on, dropped out of college after his freshman year at Washington, went to the Mackenzie Tour, trying to make it on the mini tours out of Canada. His wife was working 2 jobs. He had a great quote on Sunday. She gave up her dream so I could live mine. Just a really, really cool story. In addition to, me getting the win tipping Joel Dahmen, I was just really happy for him and a great way to kind of finish the weekend at Corrales.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that vein, let's jump right into it. Recap both of our tournaments again, WGC and Corrales, from a winner standpoint as well as weekend sweats. We are going to start first with our right-click print money winners. Tmac, to you, anything from WGC or Corrales?
Wah, wah, wah. Nothing. Not a single hit, but lower cards this week, so I was hoping though. I got nothing. Terrible.
We talked it up last week. It was a tough week for the book with multiple events. You wanted to kind of spread the units around, not go too heavy on one side, which kind of restricts some of the place bets, things of that nature. Tough go. ShallowCal, any right-click print money winners for you?
So I had all 16 of the pod winners picked, and I only hit one pod winner because of just how brutal those finishes were. Potentially with the playoffs, I could have had 6 to 7 pod winners, and all of the playoffs went against. And the tiebreakers went against what I needed to have happen.
Oh, that's terrible.
And so Spieth, Jordan Spieth coming through for me was my lone pod winner. I also had an outright on him, and I can't believe how cold his putter went on the back 9 in that match against Kuchar. I really, really, really thought he was in great shape to win that, and was actually planning on how I was going to spend all of that money before. But yeah, I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going that direction for Spieth. Um, so little disappointment as far as the Corrales. Nothing for me. I only had 3.5 units on that one. It was a small field, tough to handicap that one, with a lot of Euros, a lot of smaller names. And then also the books not really having those top 5, top 10, top 20s odds out there on the tournaments.
So as
So
mentioned,
nothing missed on all of my Corrales.
okay. As mentioned at the beginning of the show, I did get back to my winning ways. First outright winner on Joel Dahmen, 50-1 at Corrales since Brooks Koepka at the Phoenix Open in early February. Joel Dahmen coming off a missed cut in 6 of his last 7 events, but a guy who was in really good form at Corrales with a couple of top 15 finishes recently. Felt like a good week for him. Again, we touched on how awesome the story is. Felt good to get back on the horse and have Joel Dahmen hit with a 50-1 winner. All right, Shallow Cal, back to you. You already alluded to a bit of it with Jordan Spieth. Any other big weekend sweats for you in either tournament?
Oh, not necessarily. Well, Sepp Straka, he was there. I had him 40-1 outright at the Corrales. So that was it was a small sweat. He started the day 3 back, but I believe he also just had an even par round on Sunday, so he didn't really make too much of a move. So it wasn't really a super hard sweat. However, I did have a first round leader ticket on Dahmen, Joel Dahmen, and he was in the lead. He was in the clubhouse, and Jaeger, I believe, was the first round leader.
With an ace on the back 9.
He started the back 9 at 1 under par. Fine, give me that all day. And then the second hole, ace. Fourth hole, birdie. And then he birdies 2 of the final 4 holes to get to 6 under and snatch that 48-1 first round leader ticket out of my hands. I was so heated at work when I saw that back 9 score, and was very, 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 very disappointed.
He looked good early in the day. I was pulling for you. What
Yeah.
about you, Tmac? Any weekend sweats from either tournament?
No, honestly, whole card was just a big flop. Just a big flop this week.
Sounds like my card last week. Nothing even to sweat about.
Exactly.
Big sweat for me this week at the WGC. Tipped Victor Perez 125-1 on the outright. Makes it out of the pool play. Defeats was it Sergio in the round of 16, and then oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting it in the Elite 8, but advanced to the Final 4 of match play.
Rob McIntyre, did he play?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, beat Bobby Mack in the round of 16, and then Sergio in the round of 8 to get to the Final 4. Ran into Billy Horschel playing well, and honestly, Perez just kind of looked nervy, edgy all day. Tough stage for the 28-year-old Frenchman. A guy who's very familiar with match play, but just again kind of ran out of steam. Awesome run though at 125-1. Excited to see what he does at the Masters in 2 weeks. Okay, if you want to see all of our tips and picks, both from the current tournament as well as the entire year, so you can see our total win-loss numbers in units, remember to follow at RightClickPicks on Twitter. We have a spreadsheet pinned to the top of that Twitter account that's going to show you every breakdown by tournament for the year. Go check it out. We're getting back on the wagon this week with some more winners, so we're going to be rolling out the good stuff for everyone. And with that, as we do every week, boys, it is about making paper for the masses. Let's jump in and preview the Valero Texas Open. Last chance to qualify for the Masters. We are at the Oaks course at TPC San Antonio in the Texas Hill Country. 144 players this week. Top 65 in ties go to the weekend. We got 6 players in the top 50 of the official world golf rankings this week. No DJ after the withdrawal. course architects, Greg Norman with Sergio Garcia as well. Your defending champion from 2019, because the event was not contested last year because of COVID, is Corey Connors. Again, as mentioned earlier, the first Monday qualifier to win on tour in the last 10 years when he did it in 2019. ShallowCal, hit me with some course vitals for TPC San Antonio.
It is a beautiful, beautiful course, as most of the TPCs are. This one, however, is a little bit different. It goes away from the typical TPC course where you have more of a large grandstand and large crowds. This one is a little bit different. They have the narrow fairways. The around the greens are a little bit smaller. But they did a fantastic job, and where this is beautiful. It's a par 72, 74,000 yards, a little bit over 74.35. The putting greens are Champions Bermuda. The fairways are TIF Sport Bermuda. The roughs are Bandera Bermuda. Collars, approaches, and tee tops are Emerald Bermuda. So we've got all sorts of Bermuda. The
Bermuda burns, baby.
There's tons of native grasses also on the outer areas, outer edges. If you get a little loose, you're going to find yourself in all sorts of trouble. In November, they usually overseed the course with ryegrass and POA. So depending on that weather down there, you might have a little bit of a mixture on these greens and fairways. But it's mostly Bermuda out there.
We should be seeing a lot more of the Bermuda now. Didn't get as much of that bad weather in San Antonio as they did kind of up near the Texas Panhandle and even south of Austin. As you mentioned, we are smack dab in the middle of Texas Hill Country. This course is literally cut out of a rocky landscape with little elevation change, only 100 feet total elevation change on the entire course, limestone walls, other desert-like hazards, not much water, but it is, as you mentioned earlier, ShallowCal, an exposed course, typically with some Texas wind.
Yep. The one thing that I do love about this course is that the par fives are 5th, 6th, 9th, and the 10th toughest holes on this course. Whereas a lot of times on this on tour, you're going to see a lot of the par fives playing pretty easy. These ones are some of the tougher holes on the course, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more variance in scoring going through this. And the first 4 holes are also a pain in the neck. And if you can get through those first 4 at even par or lower, that's going to be critical to winning this tournament.
No doubt. Any additional color on the course, TPC San Antonio for you, Tmac?
Yeah, one thing that I just found was interesting is that it's such a unique layout where there isn't necessarily one type of fairway. They've got a few that are just wide open and sprawling, and then a few others that are narrow and require some precision. So it's going to be a course where you can't just get away with it on every hole, but some holes you can. So should be interesting.
That sounds to me like a little bit of a tease for important stats to consider for TPC San Antonio.
I think that's not a tease. I think that might be called a segue here in the podcast world.
Lead us off, Tmac. What are you looking at this week?
Shots gained off the tee. I think it's really important, and then the shots gained approach. I think it's also going to be very important. I'm always a scrambling guy, but it's going to be really, really important this week, I think, to attack that tee.
And ShallowCal, I'll segue to you.
Yeah, I love that word. I'm going to go right along with Tmac, except Jordan Spieth. He can get loose off the tee, but if he can scramble and get some shots gained on the approach. I love that, and he's actually top 5 in shots gained approach in the last 20 rounds or so on tour. So shots gained approach is actually one of the big things that I'm looking at here. If you can you can, be a little loose on some of these holes with the driver, and if you can regain and get back into scoring territory, I think that's key. Which segues into my next one, which is opportunities gained. The more opportunities to score on this course, obviously, the better, just in general. But the players who have the most opportunities gained are definitely going to be near the top of the leaderboard this week.
I think Connor's won at 20 under in 2019.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Opportunities gained, a Fantasy National Golf Club proprietary stat. Shout out to the Moose. Can we maybe get some free subscriptions to the Fantasy National Golf Club? I mean, we'll pump it all day and night.
Hey, I'm in.
So I'm right there with both of you. What you mentioned for a lot of those important stats to consider. I feel like a broken record, but we are just in a period right now where we've got a number of courses right in a row that are pure ball strikers courses, and this is another one. Strokes gained ball striking, which kind of leads me right into strokes gained tee to green. It's extremely difficult to hit greens in regulation here. If you can dial in those irons and a few of those shorter wedges, give yourself some nice easy putts. It's not terribly difficult greens. There is some undulation, but you got to be
bunkers though, dude.
Yeah,
Holy bunkers.
A lot of bunkers. Got to be dialed in with those long irons and the short irons, honestly.
Yes.
You both mentioned it, but huge for me this week. Strokes gained off the tee, distance plus accuracy. Bombers have an advantage at this course, but you have to be accurate as well. As Tmac mentioned, there are some wide open fairways where you can just let it rip, but a lot of this course is tree lined as well, so you lose balls left and right. I mean, Kevin Na made a 16 on a hole here several years ago, getting lost in the trees. So there's a lot of trouble lurking in that rocky terrain.
Finally, and he still walked in the putt.
Always. And finally for me, scrambling as well. A different type of scrambling here, again, because of kind of that rocky landscape in the Texas Hill Country, but you got to be able to scramble around TPC a little bit. Okay, anything else from either of you in the way of stats to consider?
No, I think that covered it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's quickly, before we start giving our outright picks, give me your strategy. We'll start with you, Tmac, for your betting card this week, how you're constructing it, what types of players you're looking at, anything you want to let the listeners know about as you're thinking about building your betting card, what goes into it for TPC San Antonio?
Yeah, I kind of backed off again a little bit this week with only 9 units bets, and I just picked some outright winners this week. I'll probably get back to the laddering top 10s and 5s and 20s for the Masters, but had a couple bad weeks, so pump the brakes a little bit. Need to hit an outright and kind of get back on the horse.
Yep, I was really disappointed in a lot of the numbers that I saw this week on top 5s and top 10s. I mean, typically, we just get killed in the U.S. without books offering each way bets. I mean, it's coming, right? It's so big in Europe, England in particular, on golf. We gotta have books start competing for each way bets in the States because it helps the people making those picks. But until then, you can kind of create your own each ways by, as Tmac mentioned, laddering top 5, top 10 place bets. When I'm looking at those bets, I want a minimum of a 1/4 return on a top 5 bet and a minimum of a 110 return on a top 10 bet. And I just wasn't seeing a lot of that this week on the guys. A couple books were slower putting out those odds. I was waiting to
very slow this week. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, so it was a bummer. I'll detail mine a little bit more after we hear from you, ShallowCal, but different strategy for me as well. What about you, ShallowCal? What are you looking at?
Yeah, man. I did playground picks today because I was really, when the top 5s and 10s and everything kind of came out, I was at the playground with the kids and really disappointed in the books on how slow they were this week. And I get that DJ withdrew, and that shook up. That's a big shakeup. But still, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to get this done and do it. And I think the sports books responded at first, and then this past week they really dropped the ball, in my opinion, especially with March Madness going on and people being on the apps and looking. They had an opportunity to really gain new bettors and different things. But My strategy this week was similar to what you guys do. I laddered a lot of top fives, tens, some of my first round leaders as well as my outrights all together. Follow a very similar pattern. I had some top 20 at really short odds that I threw full units on, so that that were guys that I really thought were not necessarily locks, because you're never locks, but guys with really, really, really great chances to do well at this course, just to put a little bit bigger bets on those top 20s to get a little bit more in return, to counteract some of the half units here and full units there and whatnot across the rest of the card.
I'm back closer to a full card this week myself. I think I'm at 12 or 12 and a half units right now, maybe saving again 1 or 2 shots to fire in tournament. But in terms of the strategy this week for me, it's simple. Target players who are looking to qualify for the Masters. All spots are now filled for Augusta next week with the exception of one, and it is the winner of the Texas Open. 7 of the last 8 winners of the event that immediately precedes the Masters were not automatically qualified for the tournament, so extra juice for some guys. I know that for a lot of them, this is kind of a tune-up week, kind of what we expected to see from DJ. Even though, was gonna open up as the favorite. For him, it's more about just making sure you're right for Augusta. Not so for guys like a Charlie Hoffman, a Chris Kirk, who are looking to punch their ticket to Augusta, not already qualified this week. So that's where I went with all but one on my card. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we get into the outright picks?
Nope.
No, sir.
Let's do it. Tmac, start us off. Any outrights for you less than 20 to 1?
Yeah, I've got 2. I got Jordan Spieth at 11 to 1 and Tony Finau at 12 to 1. 1 unit wagers on both of them.
So I saw a 27 to 1 number still hanging around on Finau for next week at the Masters. Little tease. I jumped on that early because I think you're spot on. I don't have an outright on Finau this week, but it feels like one of those weeks where he could pop, maybe finally get that second breakthrough win, or at least contend, and then those numbers next week at the Masters are going to fall. So I like looking towards Spieth there. How about you, ShallowCal? Anything less than 20 to 1?
Yes, and my obligation, I've said it a few weeks in a row, I am riding the Jordan Spieth bandwagon until he pulls out the win. I actually got him early Monday, when the odds first dropped, before DJ withdrew. I got him at 13 to 1, and now it's dropped to 10 and 11 to 1 at different places. So a little bit of a value there for where it's at right now, but I'm riding this horse until it comes home, man.
Got to shoot your shots with Spieth. I respect it.
Yep.
Nothing for me this week less than 20 to 1. So ShallowCal, back to you. Anything in the 20s to 30s on your card?
Yep, I got Abe Answer and Ryan Palmer, both at 28 to 1. I really like Ryan Palmer this week. I've got him pretty much fully down the board everywhere I can get him at. And I've actually got a full unit on him at the outright at 28 to 1.
One of those golfers who just feels like he's overlooked no matter what he does.
Yeah.
He's playing some really good golf right now. He's top 30 in the official world golf rankings. He's got great course history here. A couple missed cuts recently at the event, but the long-term course form, very nice for Ryan.
I also forgot to drop this on there on Spieth. My boy went to Texas, so I feel like he's played a lot of these courses before, so that's why I'm going with him again this week as well.
Okay. Tmac, 20s to 30s outrights for you.
Yeah, great minds think alike. I have Ryan Palmer at 28 to 1. And then I went with the 2019 champion, Corey Connors at 20 to 1.
Nice. So my only pick in that range, I'm going to tail that as well. Corey Connors, got him at 25 to 1 early Monday morning.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Nice number out there, especially before the DJ withdraw. And it's funny, I just spent about, a minute and a half talking about how I was building my card around guys who aren't qualified for the Masters. And so, of course, my first pick is the only one on my card who is qualified for the Masters. But I just love Corey Connors this week. Love the way he's striking the ball, defending champion. Yep. He is 12th in strokes gained, tee to green, and approach, 14th off the tee. He had a great fall with 3 top 10s and has already added 2 more in 2021. He feels like a repeat winner to me. All right, 30s. Anything from 30 to 40 for you, T-Mac?
Yeah, 30 to 40. I've got 40 to 1 on Zach Johnson.
Okay, yep. Another guy who's played well here, got good course
Hmm.
history. How about you, Shallow Cal?
Old man Zach Johnson, huh? No, I've got Chris Kirk, 43 to 1. I there's just something about his game right now that I feel like he will do well at this course. I've also got him sprinkled throughout my top fives, top tens, first round leader, potentially picks. So I'm going hard on Chris Kirk this week.
Okay, I'm there with you, but before Chris Kirk, I'm on Thursday, Charlie Hoffman at 35 to
No.
1. Still looking to qualify for the Masters. So one of those players I was talking about who should be very dialed in this week because of what's on the line. He was once the king of Texas golf on the PGA Tour, and he's particularly good here. He has never missed a cut in 14 trips. He has 11 top 15 finishes. Also been striking the ball really well this year, top 35 each in strokes gained off the tee, tee to green, and approach. He was in contention at Punta Cana the entire weekend, but faded Sunday, as mentioned, after that 5-over stretch of his last two holes. Also a previous winner here in 2016, which is his last win on tour, coincidentally.
Hmm.
Turning our attention fully to the 40s, let me stay here with my pick next, only because you already mentioned him, Callow. I am also on Chris Kirk at 45 to 1. 5 top 25s in 7 starts in 2021. 8th here twice at Texas Open and 13th as well. He is currently 21st in strokes gained tee to green. Anybody else first for you, Shallow Cal, in the 40s?
That's it for me in the 40s.
T-Mac to you in the 40s.
Yeah, I already mentioned him, Zach Johnson.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. My bad. Got Zach at 40. All right. Let's move on to 50s. T-Mac?
Yeah, two, both at 50 to 1. Love these. I've loved both these guys. I'd love to see a tournament win out of them. Lanto Griffin and Sam Burns. I think this is an opportunity that both of them have.
Bermuda
Bermuda
Burns,
Burns on
baby.
the Bermuda Burns on the Bermuda course.
All day, all day.
How about you, Shallow Cal? 50s?
I like Burns is that pick for this course, and I went the crowd route on Burns this week. So cross my fingers. Hopefully it doesn't burn me, but we'll see how that works.
All right. Well, nothing for me in the 50s. So let me start us off in the 60s. I'm on Cam Davis at 60 to 1. Here's a guy looking for his first PGA Tour win. He's got a win at the Australian Open as well as one mini tour win. Not qualified for the Masters yet, but maybe one of the best ball strikers on tour and striking it as well as anyone right now, particularly with the driver, which is his big weapon. 16th
Yeah.
in strokes gained off the tee. He should also do very well in the Texas wind that tends to mimic kind of what he knew growing up in Australia. T-Mac, anything in the 60s for you?
Nope, nothing below 100 at this point.
To you, Shallow Cal?
No 60s.
All
Nothing
right.
there.
70s for you, Shallow Cal.
Yeah, with HV three sticks. Harold Varner the third. I believe he's a Jordan brand golfer.
Sure is.
So anybody who is a Jordan brand golfer is a fan. I'm a fan of. So I got him at 70 to 1.
Nice. Nothing in the 70s for me, so let me take us right to the 80s. I am also on Sam Burns. I did nab him at 80 to 1, though, as soon as DraftKings released those odds on Monday. They were one of those books that was a bit slower, but I just happened to kind of have the phone in hand when it dropped. Missed the 85 number that a few people tweeted about on him, but did get him 80 to 1. Again, Bermuda Burns, he's either going to go out and fire an 81 on day one, and we're all going to rip our tickets up in disgust, or he's going to be a 63 and, take us right into the weekend sweating for nothing. Also looking to qualify for Augusta, just a really, really long number on a guy that is now down in the 40s in most places on the book. So I thought there was a lot of value there. One more in the 80s for me. Ricky Fowler, 80-1. I'm a bit ashamed to admit it. And I should say I'm only half units in on Cam Davis, Sam Burns, and Ricky Fowler, some of my longer shots, full units on the first three. But I felt like I needed some exposure to Ricky this week. This would be the first time since 2010 that he didn't qualify for the Masters.
It's been terrible.
He's lost, right?
He's
have
2019,
Ricky,
2000. He's 2019 Jordan Spieth, man.
Hey, if there's a blueprint right now for how you come back from that, it's current form, Jordan Spieth.
I've got an 80-1 ticket on Danny Willett. I think he played
Masters champ. Danny Willett looking to he's qualified.
He's a lifelong, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he been playing pretty well. So yeah, 80s. I got him.
Anything else for you less than 100, ShallowCal?
Matthew Neesmith.
Okay, I was wondering if we were going to get a Neesmith ticket this week.
Yeah, I've actually got him in a few different spots. I've got him as an outright leader, a first round leader, and then yep, that's it. But he's 95-1 as I got for my outright.
Okay.
I also took Neesmith, but I got him at 125-1.
Dang,
nice. That's a great number.
That is incredible number on him.
Anything else in the hundreds for you, Tmac?
No, not in the hundreds.
All right.
I went back to the well with Sepp Straka. He was right there last weekend. With a little bit different conditions on Sunday, he might have been able to really follow up that big move up the leaderboard and go low. I got him at 130-1.
I love that number on Sepp. I looked hard when I saw him in the 130s, 140s as well. I think this may be the time to go back to him in consecutive weeks.
Yes.
All right, well, if we're out of the 100s, then it must mean it is time for Tmac's tickets. So
I love it. I got some tickets this week, baby.
I got a Tmac ticket this week as well. Let's start with the man himself. Where are those lottery tickets spread out this week, Tmac?
I got 4 of them, so we're going with my boy Stewart again, 200-1.
All right, I'm getting Stewart's sync picture out there on Twitter this week. Look for it. I got him from the Buick Open 97 with me. It's going to be awesome.
Brian Stewart, not Stewart.
Brian Stewart. All right.
But yeah, sorry. I got I may pronounce his name wrong. Batia at 250-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, younger kid, 19 years old. So love to see him come out and win. I think I've only saw him on one. I think I've only seen him at one tournament. He might have played quite a few, but that was the one they stood out. I'm thinking that one could pull off. I've got Bo Hostler at 350-1.
Okay.
And then finally, I've got Lahari at 350-1.
I love it. So Tmac's tickets, we are in on a handful of 200 to 300-1 odds. If we're going to hit a lotto ticket this week, I hope it's Akshay because ShallowCal, I believe you are on him as well.
Yes, sir. I've got Akshay at 310-1 odds.
Wow.
Woo! Let's cash that ticket and right-click print money one time, please. Hit it one time. The kid can strike the ball. The kid can play. I think he is going to be a force to reckon with on tour in the coming years. And you know what they say? You'd rather be early to the party than late to the party on this one. So I'm going to try and hit this one with the long odds.
Gents, let's have a week because I am also on Akshay Bhatia.
Oh,
I got
baby.
Baby. And I got him at 360-1.
Dear Lord.
Wow.
This number is just way too big in this field, even for the teenager. He was T9 at the Safeway Open in the fall, which is a really nice corollary course to TPC San Antonio.
Yes.
He also opened with a 64 at Pebble earlier this year. So he's shown some form. He's since won a mini tour event. He's got all the talent in the world. I mean, let's go. I mean, 19 years old.
the only thing that's wrong with him is that he's a lefty.
Yeah, but I mean, so right click print money goes up almost 600 units if we all hit that or more.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we're way more. We're almost 1,000 units up at that point.
This is
Actually, I don't have a full unit on him. I threw a smaller wager on that.
It's not too late.
I'm a half unit as well, and the 360
I'm a full
number
unit,
is
baby.
going. All right. Anything else? Give you each an opportunity to give one more bet on your card this week. That's not an outright. If interested, no obligations. Again, you can go to @RightClickPicks on Twitter and see our full cards, including those place bets, matchup props. But Tmac, to you first. Anything beyond an outright that you want to tell the people about this week?
I might have a couple first round leader bets here, but no, right now that's all I have. You guys got my whole card tonight.
All right, ShallowCal, anything for you?
I am going to go with Chesson Hadley, first round leader. He, North Carolina, Texas. Can we make a little similarities there? Maybe not. Probably not, but I hope so. I got him first round leader 120 to 1 that I'm really hoping he can come through on that one and just fire a huge round.
I love it. First time I'm back in the first round leader ticket market this week in a while. I've got 4 of them very quickly. Keegan Bradley 50 to 1, Brendan Steele 55 to 1, Kevin Chappell 90 to 1, and our boy Akshay Bhatia 125 to 1. First.
There you go, baby.
Oh, I like that one. I might be picking something like that one up.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. All right, a reminder again, you can see all of these picks as well as any live in-tournament ads by following @RightClickPicks on Twitter. We got the link to the spreadsheet. Check it out for the year. See where we stand with our total win-loss numbers in units. Real quickly, gentlemen, it might be tough to see on the camera, but this week I am wearing my Shoal Creek Club polo. Thoughts and prayers are with everybody in the Shoal Creek community, as well as Shelby County, suburban Birmingham, Alabama, after the tornadoes that ripped through the South last week. It really did a number on Shoal Creek, a place that's very special to me. It was kind of my first taste of covering big-time golf when I was living in Birmingham, and I covered the 2008 U.S. Junior Amateur with Patrick Reed, Jordan Spieth, Grillo, Richie Warinsky, a couple of those guys.
Was DeChambeau in there?
No DeChambeau at that one, strangely enough. I think he actually failed to qualify because I think he was of age to play in it. Yeah. But yeah, I made a lot of great friends out there. Thinking of everybody, particularly my partner in the media tournament that week, Wayne Gillis. So hope for a quick recovery for everybody at Shoal Creek Club as well as the entire surrounding area. All right, gentlemen, as always, the goal is making paper for the masses. So let's get out there and right-click print money. Cheers.
Love it.
Cheers,
gentlemen.
Go blue, baby.
Go blue.